Hey guys, back with a brand new video. Today I'm just gonna be going through my team for 2020. These are must-have players, by the way, guys. So these are my AFL or AFL Fantasy OMG season predictions. So in the defenders, we have Jake Lloyd. Jake Lloyd's gonna have a great season. He's gonna average. He should average over 100 every game consistently. And he's overall, he is a bit of an expensive pick, but I like how he performs. He's just an excellent. He's an elite defender, and he is a must-have for your team. Next up, we have Jack Crisp. Jack Crisp. He actually he may in the actual AFL fantasy it says that he's gonna average 92, but I'm actually expecting over the hundreds from him. Don't always listen to the AFL website thing because with these players you don't know how they're going to perform and you can't really make a prediction for them. But I know he's going to have a great year and he's a great pick. Next up we have Rory Laird. Rory Laird, he has been a great defender for quite some time now. He's been at Adelaide for quite a while now. He's very experienced, gets a lot of the ball, and yeah, he also should get some big scores, and he is across the very consistent. Next up, we have Dan Houston. Dan Houston, he's actually a very cheap pick. He may not get as many big scores, but he will be worth his money for what he is. Next up, we have Sam Doherty. Sam Doherty, I've been hearing a lot of people saying don't get him because he's come off 2 ACLs in the past couple of years. But but he should be back in some form quite soon. But yeah, moving on. Next up we have Hayden Young. Hayden Young is actually his rookie year this year. I've actually a lot of people were putting him on the NABA Rising Star, but not sure about that. But I know he's gonna have a good year at the Dockers. Opening year. He should be pretty confident in his abilities and should play a great year. Not expecting too much from him, but should have a good year. Next, moving on to the midfielders. Now, for the midfielders, you don't have to have all of these players because they are quite expensive, but you should choose a couple of them for your team. First, we have Jack Gray. Jack Gray, he's a beast. He averages what like I remember in 2018 he got 9 games in a row, and they weren't just any types of hundreds. They were all over 120 9 games in a row. So that just shows you what type of player he is. Josh Dunkley. People say don't have 2 of the same players from the same team, like in your AFL fantasy team, because they have to share those disposals. But I disagree. I mean, I have McRae and Dunkley in one of my teams, and they don't really, they'll both get well over 100 easily, and I'm not worried about them stealing each other's possessions and disposals. Next, we have Adam Treloar. Adam Treloar, he is a little pricey for what he is. People call him a ripoff, but depends. If you have the money for him, go get him. He's a great player. But if you wanna, save a bit of money, I'd suggest going for a Dangerfield or a Merritt or a Mitchell. So Dangerfield, as I'm pretty sure all of you know him, he played a forward line role last year, but he's playing more of a midfield role this year. So he actually got he got a lot of points last year playing as a forward, so he should get even more as a midfielder this year. Next up, Zach Merritt. Well, I actually go for the Bombers, so I've been watching him for the last 6 years or so. So I know exactly how he plays. He's always on the ball, always hunting it down. he's just a great player. He's not too expensive, but yeah, he's very consistent every game. He just puts in that full effort and should get you a couple good scores. Next up, Tom Mitchell. Now, Tom Mitchell, he was actually injured last season, but the season before, he averaged 120. So that, and he's actually gone down to 670k. So I don't know if people think that he's not going to be as good as he was in 2018, but we'll see. He's very cheap though, so I'd have him in the team anyway. Clayton Oliver. Clayton Oliver is a very underrated player. No one really has him. No one really talks about him as well, but he's one of the best in the fantasy. He's in the 700k area, so he is tiny. I don't know. If you have money, then you should go for him. But if you're trying to really save some money, then might not be the one for you. Next, Marlon Pickett. Most of you know he played in the 2019 Grand Final for Richmond as a debut. His first game, and he won the Grand Final. Yeah, but he's actually 170k, and if he can perform the way he did in the Grand Final, then he should be very good, because he's only 170k. That's as cheap as you get, and if he can perform like he did on that Grand Final day, he's a bargain. Next, moving on to the Rocks. First we have Brodie Grundy. Everyone in the AFL fantasy community knows Grundy. I mean, if you don't know him, then I don't know where you've been living your whole life, because this guy is a beast. If you've been hearing people call him a rip-off because he's so expensive and just people think he's a waste of money, but you pay 906k and it is totally worth it. He can literally carry the whole team. He averages 120 every game, and he's basically a midfielder, but gets extra points for being in the ruck for the tap outs. Next we have Max Gawn, almost as good. He might not get as big scores, but he is cheaper as well. So if Grundy's a bit too expensive, then just go down to Max Gawn. He does the same thing. He's just as good, but Grundy just gets a couple more points in him in the end. Next we have Riley O'Brien. Riley O'Brien he's pretty cheap. He's mid-price, but yeah, Riley O'Brien. Been watching him in the March series so far, and he's been playing some good footy. Should be he's been in the March series game. He actually got 90, and he wasn't even on for the first half of the game, and he still got 90. So that just shows you what good form he is in. Next we have Jared Witts. Jared Witts, since the Gold Coast Suns, they're a bit of a failure, but he dominates, because Gold Coast, they in the midfield. Usually you'd think that they pass it to the midfielders a lot, but they actually pass it to Jared Witts, because he's one of the best ball users. He knows exactly where to place the ball, and he just got good sight and good knowledge of the game. Next up we have the forwards. My forwards, you can't not get Lachie Whitfield. He averages 112. Should actually get more than that, but we'll see. He's getting more of a midfield role as well. He's going to start in the forward line, but he's going to move up to the midfield throughout the game. So he should rack up some more points. And he's just a great pick. Next up, we have Dustin Martin. He may not be the best forward in AFL fantasy, but he just dominates. Wherever the ball is, he is. He's just a ball magnet. He's always around the ball, always getting all those disposals, and he doesn't just get the ball. He will tear the game apart. Next, we have Isaac Heaney. Isaac Heaney, he wasn't actually too consistent in 2018, but last year he was pretty consistent, averaged in the 90s, but he got a couple big scores like 120 throughout the year. Hopefully he should get a bit more midfield time, but depending on what the Swans want to do with him, we'll see. Next with Devon Smith. Devon Smith was actually injured in 2019, so he only played one game in 2019, so didn't get to play. So he's actually still quite expensive though, 700 in the 700 zone like area. Yeah, he is a bit expensive, but I am expecting big things from him, and should be just as good as he was in 2018, averaging 112. Next we have Hugh Greenwood. Hugh Greenwood, cheap pick. He's pretty average player, but he's very consistent, and that's all you want from a forward line players. And if you don't want to waste too much money, you go for Hugh Greenwood. Next, and the last forward I have is Cam Rayner from the Brisbane Lions. He actually last year he did move onto the wing and got more touches, but yeah, he should, depending on what the Lions want to do. Again, it's all about what they want to do with him, but you never know, he might get that midfield role or not. But either way, he's just a great player, should get lots of disposals. Anyway, guys, like and subscribe, and go the Bombers!